COVID cases are surging across the country, but some businesses that readjusted or were started during the pandemic are prepared. While school districts struggled to transition to a remote learning system, the education tech company Encantos has been working since 2015 to create a robust and diverse virtual learning experience with digital story teaching to help kids learn through play, even at home. And outdoor entertainment venues also are effective at keeping people safer while also connecting communities. The drive-in theater, Newark Moonlight Cinema, is back in action after its successful run last year. Let's start with education. With us now is Stephen Wolf-Pereira, co-founder and CEO of Encantos. Stephen, so you started this company with your wife and friends back before EdTech was as cool as it is now. What kinds of pressures and opportunities have you seen during this time, especially as we get ready for back to school?
Absolutely, John. Well, thanks for having us. And holy cow, it took a global pandemic to make EdTech cool. I think when 9 out of 10 kids around the planet were stuck at home, people realized what the hell are our kids learning? And more specifically, they're not learning 21st century skills. They're learning literacy and life skills that they need to thrive in this century. And so we saw throughout the pandemic this incredible demand for things that are going to be not just focused on 21st century skills. There also was this incredible demand for diversity, equality, and inclusion and representation, especially with over 50% of kids being diverse.
So what's going to happen now as we, I guess, move toward reopening, but it's probably not going to be smooth in the fall. It's going to be different by different geographic area. And I think a lot of parents have realized that there's an extra burden of doing more from home, whether it's getting the equipment or it's being more hands-on with the learning material. How is technology and Encantos going to play into that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, everyone talks about, the K economy. What you're seeing is K education, where parents have actually figured out how to take education into their own hands. And so parents that had means, they actually hired private teachers, private tutors for their kids, and they accelerated. But think about all the parents and families that couldn't do that. So you actually have a widening education gap. And now parents are really looking for new ways to actually continue the learning from the classroom into the living room. And so you're going to see a demand for homeschooling, enrichment, supplemental, tools and resources. And that's where Encantos comes in. We're actually a story teaching platform. Think of us as a global creator platform that's connecting creators that we call story teachers with kids and families so they can actually learn these 21st century skills. So effectively, we're democratizing and diversifying learning.
Is there more interest from investors coming to platforms like Encantos now? And what is it that they expect or hope to see in terms of growth, both revenue-wise and user-wise?
Absolutely. Well, next week actually marks the beginning of the ASU GSV annual EdTech conference. Think of it as like the Davos for EdTech. Everyone's going to be there. And, the reality is EdTech has never been more in demand. So investors are now realizing that this is not going to be a one-time fad, that there is incredible need for things that are going to help kids learn at home. So the homeschooling market, whereas that might have been a dirty word, a few years ago, everyone is looking for ways to continue learning at home. So there is incredible demand. And then look at what has been happening in the public markets. Think about Coursera going public. Think about Roblox going public. And then Duolingo just went public, 2 weeks ago? So there's incredible demand for EdTech. There's incredible demand for the creator economy. And Encantos is actually merging both of those things.
Yeah, Coursera reporting earnings today, and that demand from consumers was reflected. Stephen, thank you.
Thanks so much, John.
And now last year on the exchange, we met the team behind Newark Moonlight Cinema. The drive-in was founded during the pandemic to screen films highlighting Black filmmakers, actors and actresses to socially distanced crowds. Newark Moonlight has expanded in 2021, adding a second screen, a restaurant, and more outdoor entertainment offerings. And with us now, Ayana Morris and Sari Morris, co-owners of Newark Moonlight Cinema. Great to have you guys. So, I mean, a lot of people thought we were about to go back to movies indoors, and now we're thinking again, how is this uncertainty affecting your plans?
Well, because we're able to allow our patrons to naturally social distance, we are a choice of moviegoers. You can come, you can be with the people that you've already been quarantining with. You feel comfortable with the people you live with. You come down, you're in your car, and you have a great experience while you watch a movie.
Yeah, there's kind of a romance to the drive-in idea. And I looked at the movies that you guys are showing. It's movies we like, The Last Dragon in there. We showed our kids that movie not too long ago, the glow and whatnot. What kind of a community impact is this having? And perhaps even when it comes to local businesses surrounding that have been hit so hard by this pandemic?
I think that the community really receives it very well. We get a lot of families, a lot of couples. It's a great date night spot. Even during the construction and while we were building it out, we would have literally maybe 10 to 15 people come through and just thank us, whether we're in ShopRite, wherever we're at. So the community received it very well, and they are actually excited that we were able to make it permanent. And it's our goal to make it a mainstay in the city of Newark.
So what is your plan or your hope strategically to make this something that isn't just convenient during a time of theater uncertainty, but something that continues when, Lord willing, we're out of this pandemic state? Are you in the process of figuring out how to either add enhancements over time or more first-run movies? What?
Yeah, so we understand that we are not operating in a healthy economy, and that calls for more marketing, that calls for more pivoting and adding to our outdoor entertainment venue experience. So it's our goals to show other content, get more first-run films, do brunches. We have a restaurant with great food, so we want to highlight that as much as possible as well.
And just kind of mechanically, how does it work at this stage? Like, I know that there's been the speakers by the side of the window model for this, or they're, up by the stands. What do you hope and expect the drive-in experience becomes like over time for people who maybe haven't been to a drive-in either ever or in a few decades?
I would like to see the experience modernized. I know that movie theaters are a thing, drive-ins are a thing. I think a nice combo of an indoor-outdoor movie theater experience is a smart way to go in the 21st century.
All right. Well, best of luck to you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.